Oh, the referee could stop this for sure. It's done. This is it.
It's over.
He's going to stop it. Chandler's just about staying in it. It's got to be done.
No, stop
3,
You got to
2, 1.
Wow.
He hasn't stopped it.
Yeah,
There it is.
Wow.
Hey.
Amazing performance.
Wow.
Domination. I don't believe
Wow.
that.
All right, so UFC 314 just finished. The action just settled in Miami, Florida. I'm telling you, from start to finish, what a fight card this was. 8 finishes out of 13 fights, and I'm telling you, some ridiculous performances. We're going to talk about all of them. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, he might have stole the show. Yes, of course, he's not the featherweight champion of the world. That man's name is Alexander Volkanovski, and new, a 2-time featherweight champion. We'll get to Paddy in just a minute, but I am telling you, he absolutely smoked Michael Chandler. He made it look easy, and then of course he stole the show on the microphone, called out almost every contender for the belt, and he made quite the case.
I want that world title.
I'm telling you, a title shot is in the future for Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. But of course, let's start with that main event. Alexander Volkanovski, and still, and new, 2-time featherweight champion, the only fighter 35 years or older to ever win a UFC lightweight title fight. Or in fact, the only fighter who was 35 years or older to be successful in a UFC title fight at lightweight and below. 17 people have tried, 17 people have failed. Tonight, Alexander Volkanovski is the only person 35 years or older. He's 36, he's almost 37, and he's also the featherweight champion of the world. And he did it by beating Diego Lopes. Did it in quite dominant fashion. Outstruck him on the official strike count, 158 significant strikes on the side of Volkanovski to just 63 on the side of Diego Lopes. Now that makes it sound very, very one-sided, but it wasn't. It was a competitive matchup. Diego Lopes certainly was dangerous at times, but it was Volkanovski evolved. It was vintage Volk. It was the guy that became the champion, that outstruck Max Holloway 3 times. He went out there, he was smooth, he was calm, he was composed, and the chin was fine. He took a couple of good shots, a nice big uppercut. He got wobbled a couple of times. He wobbled Diego Lopes back, who went flying into the fence, and the fence saved him. Yes, he hit the canvas. He was knocked down once by Diego Lopes, but I'm telling you, all in all, he deserved to win the fight. I could not be happier for Alexander Volkanovski. It's an incredible story. A 2-time featherweight champion and one of the nicest guys in all of the sport. But it doesn't matter. It's not about how nice of a guy you are. It's how good of a fighter are you. Can you take the damage? Can you stop the takedowns? Can you take the shots? Can you land the shots? And the answer to all of those questions was yes. The man still has it. And we know that he wants to be active. It's unbelievable. Alexander Volkanovski, the story is crazy. Went out there. He looked great. The footwork was fantastic. He was covering distance. He was pumping the jab. In the 5th round, of course, Diego Lopes, the man was on fire. He wanted to get the finish. He probably sensed that he was a little bit behind on the scorecards, and he just wanted to throw down and just go out in a blaze of glory. But Volkanovski stuck to the game plan. Volkanovski was circling away, frustrating Diego Lopes. At one point, he spat on the floor. Volkanovski spat on the floor. Diego Lopes was like, screaming, saying, come on, for crying out loud. Let's point at the floor. They're doing Max Holloway's all day long. But Volk stayed cool. He stayed calm. He stayed composed. He stuck to the game plan, and he won a decision. I could not be happier for him. Sadly, on the side of Diego Lopes, he's not the champ. He's a class act. I'm a big fan of that guy, but he's only 30 years old, and he will be back. Now, co-main event, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. He was unreal. It was incredible. I was actually left in shock. That performance was insane, right? It was the toughest test of his career. He had to prove to the world that he could back up all the talk that he's had, all the bravado, all the arrogance, you might call it, all of the confidence that he's talked about since day one. When it came time to put up or shut up, he passed the test with flying colours. Of course, for Michael Chandler, yeah, he's 38 years old, but he's given great fighters a good run. He's given them a tough test. He's made Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira work for their money, okay? And it wasn't easy. It was easy for Paddy Pimblett. He went out there, yeah, okay. He got clipped a couple of times in the first round. Paddy was landing nice calf kicks. Of course, he talked about that. He said that was the game plan. And then he got taken down, okay? He got taken down, but he managed to get back to his feet. He got taken down, but Michael Chandler didn't really do anything with it. And then after that, after the first round, it was done. It was over. Michael Chandler was absolutely exhausted. And Paddy the Baddy just got better and better, grew in confidence, started landing at will, throwing long combinations, bust him open with a flying knee, lands a flying knee and then goes on the attack, gets the takedown, picks him up, slams him down, takes his back. It was a mauling. At one point right before the finish, Michael Chandler was like squirmed up on the floor, covered in blood, looking up at him, and Paddy was just over him, just smacking him away, dropping elbows. He had the back, he had the body triangle, he had the mount, he had every single position under the sun, and he looked like he was still only in second gear, okay? When I say that that was an impressive performance by Paddy Pimblett, I'm telling you, that's an understatement. He just went out there and absolutely destroyed Michael Chandler, and I don't say this lightly, but that was a career-killing performance for Michael Chandler. Yes, of course, he'll fight again. Yes, he'll still make money. Yes, people will want to tune in. But that's it. There ain't no more title talks. There's no more see you at the top. There's none of that. Paddy Pimblett just put an end to all of that. If he was 30 years old, he could have another go. He could dust himself off, have another crack at the whip. But no. Father Time is undefeated. He's 38 years old, and there ain't no way that he's getting back into title contention ever again. Paddy Pimblett looked ridiculous. He looked like the guy that he's always spoke about, the person that he says that he is, the person that calls out everyone, that dismisses all the opposition at the top. And for someone that doesn't call people out, he called out everyone. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Ilia Topuria.
Anyone else got any questions?
He did not give a single and rightly so. The man is coming to be a champion. Will he do that? We don't know. But I tell you what, after tonight's performance, everybody's got to start taking him a lot more seriously. I'm telling you, he looked like a killer tonight. Before that, in the swing bout, as it's called, we had Patricio Pitbull, a four-time Bellator champion, taking on Yair Rodriguez. Now, Yair Rodriguez, of course, an interim champion, known for the kicks and the flashy striking. He looks really good, but it was a very, very tentative opening affair. Yair landed a couple of shots. He looked like the quickest striker, but Patricio Pitbull didn't really do much. He did get a takedown at the end of the first round, but it was too little, too late. And then in rounds 2 and 3, Yair Rodriguez started to take over for landing kicks, doing his thing, landing punches, all the rest of it. It wasn't the most exciting fight of the night because it was a tremendous fight card, but Yair Rodriguez clearly won a unanimous decision, 30-27 on every single scorecard. Well done to Yair Rodriguez. Big things in the future. Who knows? Maybe a matchup with Diego Lopez next. Anyway, before that, Bryce Mitchell versus Jean Silva. This is a fight that a lot of people were looking forward to. A fight that a lot of people had labeled good versus evil. Well, I don't know which side of the fence that you're on, but I'll tell you what happened. Jean Silva dominated the fight. Bryce Mitchell had a really bad night at the office and couldn't really get anything going. Jean Silva walked out doing this, barking like a dog, going crazy, just milking the moment and enjoying himself. And that was before the fight even started, because I'm telling you, he really started having fun once the fight begun because he was in total control. There wasn't really much that Bryce Mitchell could do. He didn't really land any strikes. Jean Silva was going forward almost with no respect, throwing whatever he wanted, throwing spinning wheel kicks, which were landing flush, the heel right on the chin. Bryce Mitchell was trying to take him down, but he couldn't really take him down. When he did get a takedown, Jean Silva almost finished it by way of guillotine. Bryce Mitchell, he's very good though. He ain't going to give up. He made it to the second round, but I'm telling you, it was just the beginning of the end. Bryce Mitchell's really tough. He's a really good fighter. He's got excellent wrestling, but tonight, the reality was Jean Silva just outclassed him, like he has done everybody so far in the UFC. Bryce Mitchell is going to feel pretty bad after this one. He was finished by way of ninja choke in the second round, okay? But Jean Silva is that guy. The confidence that he has, the way that he talks, the way that he prepares, the way that everyone at the gym of the Fighting Nerds is all performing right now. I'm telling you, they are doing something differently down there. That team is incredible. And tonight, Jean Silva was just awesome. It was a brilliant performance. He was in control the entirety of the fight. Well done to him. And then the main card started with the first round knockout. Dominic Reyes getting the job done over the very tough, very game, very experienced Nikita Krylov. Nikita came out swinging, came out really hard. Boom. Reyes sticks him with the jab, kind of wobbles him. Nikita comes rushing in and then drum, just like a counter left hook. Almost kind of like Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. Not quite as slick as that one, but it was a beautiful shot nonetheless. Before that, on the prelims, we had Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. He got the job done, dropped him in the third round with a big overhand left, sat him down in the third round. And to be honest, it was a fight that Dan Ige was pretty much dominating from start to finish. Woodson had some moments. He landed some shots. He's the taller guy, 6'3". He's got beautiful boxing. So, of course, he landed some shots, but Dan was never really in any trouble. Before that, Vina Jandiroba defeated Yan Xiaonan, dominated that fight. I'm telling you, some beautiful grappling skills on the side of Vina Jandiroba. Same thing with Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. That went to a decision as well, but I'm telling you, a very, very entertaining decision. Beautiful grappling from Chase Hooper, threatening submissions every 5 seconds, going for calf slices, triangles, rear naked chokes, arm bars, you name it. He threw everything but the kitchen sink at Jim Miller, but of course, Jim's got the experience. He didn't get caught, but he did lose the fight. And before that, Julian Erosa went out there and stopped Darren the Damage Elkins in the very first round. So, big takeaways of the night are Alexander Volkanovski is a 2-time UFC featherweight champion, also one of the best guys in all of the sport, and a guy that's going to be back fighting again on your TV screens very, very soon because the man wants to be active. God bless that man. Well done to that man, and fair play to Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Listen, I'll be honest. You know, Paddy always talked a big game, but he had some close fights with people like Jared Gordon. And obviously in the lightweight division, I wasn't sure if he was going to make it to where he is now. But the man's done it. He's pulled it off. And he just went out there and just wiped the floor, made it look easy, dominated Michael Chandler. It was one-way traffic, okay? It was a really bad performance from Michael Chandler and a stunning performance from Paddy Pimblett. He was so loose and smooth and just, as I said before, didn't even really get out of second gear, okay? Wasn't even panting, wasn't out of breath. He looked massive in there as well. Michael Chandler was carrying far too much muscle, just trying to force everything, trying to swing in and look for those big, massive shots, whereas Paddy, he was just chill. Yeah, he was taken down in the first round, but then after that, there was no threat. He could basically do whatever he wanted, so fair play to him. An incredible night of fights. Congratulations one more time to Alexander Volkanovski. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't. Members videos dropping almost every day. We have got the Believe You Me podcast on Monday. Myself and Paul Felder, we're going to go through all of the card and we're going to talk about all the news in mixed martial arts. That drops Monday night, so make sure you subscribe to the Believe You Me podcast. And of course, Callum and I, my son, we did a live stream on the channel, and we will be doing the Bisping Boys breakdown, talking about UFC 314 and much more, so don't miss that either. As I say, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.